I'm representing a British organisation called Jews for Justice for Palestinians. We represent a sizable minority of Jews in the UK. One of the ways of trying to bring the issue into the public domain, I mean, it will be reported to some extent on the news and in other media, certainly be reported on social media. And it will show that there is an organised response to Israel's attacks on Gaza and the attacks on hundreds of Palestinian homes in their search for the people who abducted and killed the 3 Jewish youngsters. And it'll show that there's great concern about what Israel is doing to the Palestinians at the moment in Gaza. Historically, the mainstream media in the UK has been very biased in its reporting of the Israel-Palestinian conflict. It's biased in the favour of the Israeli establishment, the leading Jewish establishment here and in the States. And the reason for that is Israel manages to exert considerable influence both through an organisation called BICOM and through its diplomatic structures here, so that journalists within the BBC end up, because of their fear of being continually taken to task and criticised by the Israeli establishment here, particularly through the embassy, end up with a process of self-censorship. That's my understanding from talking to a large number of journalists who've worked within the BBC. But it's very interesting that the reporting of the current situation by the BBC has got a little bit better, that it's actually giving more of the Palestinian side of the story. You have to ask the question, why is that? And I would guess that it's because, on the one hand, the settlers, who have been in the driving seat in terms of the Israeli government for quite a long time now, have got such confidence, having been given license by Netanyahu, because Netanyahu did a deal with them in order to stay in office, that now they're getting out of hand as far as Netanyahu and the government is concerned. And that is creating a crisis in the Israel-Palestine relationships, which is very serious. On the other hand, the Israeli government wants to develop that crisis in a way that will cause a split between Hamas and Fatah. Hamas being the main political leadership in Gaza, Fatah being the main political leadership through the Palestine Authority on the West Bank. And they want to create that division because Israel has always argued, on the one hand, there isn't a unified government of the Palestinians to negotiate with, and when the unity does emerge, they then say, well, we can't negotiate with Hamas because we class them as a terrorist organisation. So they're attempting to inflame the situation, and if it does develop into another intifada, then that will break the relationship between Fatah and Hamas, which is exactly what the settlers and Netanyahu's strategy is at the moment.